You're listening to a Bay of Islands Radio original podcast.
Incoming transmission.
Beam aboard for another episode of Sunday Night Geek, live from the Bay of Islands Radio Studio in Warnabrook, Newfoundland. Find us online at boir.ca and by subspace transmission 100.1 FM or on Rogers Channel 9. Join our hosts, Angel Sky Cosplay, Sean the Tech Ninja, and the Big Dirty Nerd as they travel through time and space, review all the nerd news this week, talk about things nobody ever talks about, and answers questions no one asked. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Sunday Night Geek. Had a little bit of trouble there at the start. All these buttons and everything were confusing my adult mind.
Sound good tonight.
Yeah, you're not on the crappy microphone.
Yeah.
No, you're on the Angel Sky microphone. Because Angel Sky's not with us.
Nope.
She had to do the work at work thing.
I'm going to make sure she has a nice meal waiting for her when she gets home.
You always do, though, man. Like, this is not news.
Yeah, but that could be even just like, I might make like curry fries, do some fries in the air fryer.
What?
No, it's just like a block of stuff you put in hot water and you just pour it on top of fries afterwards.
I might maybe once in a lifetime get a peanut butter sandwich when I go home for stuff.
Oh, I don't even know if I have
Well, I mean,
bread.
like somebody makes it for me, right? Like,
I make her lunches and everything. So like work lunches too.
She is a lucky woman.
I guess I'm a lucky guy though too.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we don't have Toby here tonight.
No.
Because he obviously had to stay at home. I'm just trying to think what else. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Just the two of us here this evening.
That weird time between Christmas and Halloween.
I got my tree up already.
We're going to be soon. I'm just scrubbing up that corner and just making sure it's nice and pristine. And
why?
Up she goes. No, it's near the patio door. We always put it in that corner.
Oh, yeah.
So there's like pet hair and moisture gathering and that. Yeah. So I just go in there, bleach spray, and then clean it down.
I was going to say, it doesn't, like, it's going up there. Like, I didn't clean anything up, obviously. You know, not before I put the tree up, after I did, because there was crap all over the place.
No, for us,
like, it's all going to be covered over, so.
Yeah, no. See, it's right by the window and down by the window, like where we've cooked and it's gotten colder and that, and condensed right by the kitchen, so it gets all kind of nasty and that. I just want it refreshed and nice. So when we take pictures, in a little defect, because he's going to want to have some pictures by the tree, I think.
Who, Toby?
Oh yeah, he sits down and he takes pictures. He's a good boy for pictures.
Yeah, true enough, he is. Yeah. So what's going on this week? Well, let's first of all talk about Disney Plus Day.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. Now, some stuff they did indicate they were in the works of starting to do anyway, but it was nice that we got confirmation. A lot more stuff hammered out too.
A lot of stuff going on.
It's like She-Hulk.
They dropped a still from She-Hulk, which looks really good. Well, two actually.
Yeah,
because they dropped one with whoever's playing. Because Tatiana Maslany is playing Jennifer Walters.
Yeah.
But obviously, I don't think she's playing She-Hulk. Is she, like, the actual greened-up Hulk?
No, unless they green screen her for everything, which they do.
Oh, it's possible.
It's true. They could do mocap for a lot of her, and, some scenes might not actually be filmed together with people. Yeah. It might be overlays.
Yeah, but they also shared a shot, I don't know if it was concept art, of Bruce Banner with his arm healed.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder, is this going to take place before Avengers Endgame or after Avengers Endgame?
There may be nature to gamma irradiated beings that they may explain that fixes his arm, or it could be a fantasy sequence, could be anything.
Could be anything, yeah.
Could be, so we'll see, because Thanos wasn't in another form, so to speak, when he did his snap. He was just in his usual physical form, but the Hulk is an alteration of Bruce Banner's original form, so... And he's gained that through special circumstance, so there may be different rules applying to him.
Yeah, there could be.
A lot of stuff.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that series plays out. I hope they do it the way they did the John Byrne She-Hulk run back in the 90s.
Yeah, tongue-in-cheek.
Tongue-in-cheek, breaking the fourth wall.
Well, they said apparently it's going to be fourth wall relevant.
Breakage?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope so.
And I hope she does the whole lawyer by day, superhero by night kind of thing.
I'd love for them to do title cards that are like the covers they did.
Yeah.
Those are great.
That'd be really cool. And one thing that I don't know if they're being on Disney Plus and everything else, I don't know if they're going to touch this, but She-Hulk is a very promiscuous character.
Yeah, Doc Samson's one of her usual D appointments. Yep.
Herc.
Yep. Well, it takes a special kind of guy to handle a special kind of girl like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's even bedded down with the Juggernaut.
You gotta be bringing more than the regular skills to the room.
Yeah, pretty much, right? And I mean, like, they've had comics where the female superheroes have talked about the guys they've bedded.
I mean, like, a woman like Jennifer Walters needs accessories made not by, Hitachi, more like Detroit Diesel.
Yeah. But it's going to be interesting to see if they do anything with that side of the character. Because, I mean, it's part of her story that she is...
It looks like Marvel's trying to push all
and
away from single storylines or everything and now branch out and everything and have fun and stuff. Because, like, I haven't still watched all of it, but MODOK was fun that I did watch.
Oh, the MODOK animated series. Yeah, I didn't even...
I watched a couple episodes
watch
of it.
any of it. So.
I was going to start watching Angela and it turned out...
What was that on? That was on Spark or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's one of the MCU kind of things where it is MCU branded, etc. It is under Disney, but it's more under their family stuff. But it's like, it's Patton Oswalt.
Right, Patton Oswalt is in it, yeah. He does the voice of MODOK, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but they're having more fun with their brands as well. They're not taking themselves so seriously, etc.
Well, I mean, they've got I Am Groot. It's going to be coming out.
That's
right?
another
Which
one.
It's going to be a kids animated kind of series. So I'm still going to watch it. It's on Disney Plus. What the hell, right? So,
Why not?
So watch that up. And we got some sequences of the Moon Knight.
Yeah,
with Oscar Isaac as
I've
Moon
seen
Knight.
the shot where he's like in like the jacket and stuff.
Yeah,
Like, I can't wait
and
to see.
that's the neat thing. They're not going with the classic costume. They're going with the more recent, white suit with the white jacket and the mask and stuff. So I like that character. The first time I got introduced to Moon Knight was back in Avengers West Coast. Or West Coast Avengers, whatever it was called at the time. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Mark Spector and how they touch on his mental illness, right?
Yeah.
Because he does have a mental illness, and it's well documented in the comics.
Yeah, and they're under the microscope, so to speak, about presenting it. So
So it's going to be good to see what they do there, right? Yeah. I hope they don't just kind of brush it off as this is
glance it over and make it a quirk, and that's about it.
Like he's got multiple personalities. This is part of his mental illness, and he's schizophrenic. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play that up, right? Comic companies not known for treating these types of characters well. Yeah. There's always something that they do wrong.
Tokenness to it or something like that.
Yeah, a little bit of tokenness to it, right? Yeah. So. Interesting. Going to be interesting.
What
to see
else
that.
did they show off? Because I only caught some. I didn't really get too
Well, they didn't really show off much of Secret Invasion, but I'm not sure if that's an animated series or not.
I think so. I think they did mostly for the fact of scale versus time, etc.
Possibly, yeah.
Because that's why some things I think have been animated because of that. Oh, I thought I was bumping into something.
Nope.
So I think they did allude that it was going to be animated a lot like What If. But What If is still like, playing into main events. And that. So animation is not mattering to like... Whereas with DC, they're animated kind of treated a little separate from the live action because the animated is used for like recreating classic storylines that are big budget and that, but same thing. Yeah, speed versus time.
And that's one other thing they talked about was What If season 2. So we're definitely getting a season 2 of What If, which
is apparently something for WandaVision. There's a new poster. That's something I said.
Agatha Harkness gets her own show.
Yeah, she gets her own show too.
House of Harkness. I haven't seen anything for WandaVision. Haven't seen anything for the stuff we watched recently. Like no second season of Captain America.
Echo is another one.
Echo's another one.
Yeah,
but no second season of Captain America and the Winter Soldier because that's going to roll over into Captain America 4.
Yeah,
which is going to be focusing on Sam as Captain America. I didn't hear anything about WandaVision. No. I don't know anything about that. No. What was the other one that was out? WandaVision. Loki. No information on Loki. But even though we know there's a season 2 coming up for Loki. So.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. Well, they got to. They got to introduce Kang now. Well, they got to elaborate on Kang, I guess you could say.
They don't really try to leave too much dangling anymore. They usually get around to things after a while.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's going to be good. Like you said, Echo was one that was mentioned. Hawkeye, which starts next week. Yeah, again.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it starts next week with 2 episodes.
So does Flash.
Yeah.
And they're going right into a storyline.
Yeah, they're jumping
Big
on
crossover.
the Flash. Yeah. So that's going to be interesting to see.
And
before we start talking with the Flash, though,
Supergirl ended.
Yeah, I heard it was a bomb. I heard it was a total flatline.
It's very much for diehard fans. I think this is one of those, let's just work it out and everybody makes an appearance that is on good terms and we wrap it all up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a sad way to put to bed a story like Supergirl.
Yeah.
But, whatever. Disney Plus launched the IMAX enhanced editions of all the Marvel stuff this week. unbelievable how good it
Oh, a
looks.
lot of people have good video hardware in the
Well,
home
I've
now
got
and everything too. I got a 4K TV.
I don't. My TV is like 10, 11 years old, but you know what? It looked amazing.
Yeah.
The IMAX enhanced stuff looked absolutely
Well, I mean,
fantastic.
there's more general attention paid with IMAX. I mean, that was the whole thing about IMAX. You didn't lose anything.
No. And it really, really shows, right? It really shows. So, yeah, definitely interesting to see that stuff on IMAX. So now I'm going back through and I'm slowly watching all the stuff that came out in IMAX Enhanced. So, yeah. So Supergirl. All right. Like, everything I read online was that the ending was absolute garbage.
Oh, it totally went to like Superman 4 territory. Like, it's
Really?
getting into that. Well, the whole season, I mean.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Okay, so the kid that Kara's sister and Jimmy's sister are adopting as they get married.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So, Kara's sister, she's like, Kara, Supergirl.
Yeah.
She has a sister.
Yeah.
And Jimmy has a sister, and she's become the new Guardian.
Right.
They're getting married.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that.
And they were adopting this little alien kid who's the new talisman of love or something like that. And the actress they got is like, I think they paid her extra to be super adorable because she's that one redeeming part. She is like, oh my God, she would have been in a 90s movie, kind of cute, right?
So Barry's not the Avatar of Love anymore?
No, I think that was more the avatar of John Stamos by the shirt when he did that run.
Okay.
The part where he run to love, Barry, and he's
Yeah.
got like the unbuttoned like silk shirt and the hair's going and everything. You remember that part? Like
Yeah.
that was just like, oh my God, just kill this whole show now.
Yeah.
Put 3 bullets in his skull out and back. Supergirl, unfortunately, like there was, there's some decent like still like visibility stuff going on, which is great, but they just made it all a bit too schmarmy. The romance parts, like they're like the new CW stuff, is just totally different kind of writing altogether.
Oh, completely different.
And like
Completely
HBO
different.
now, they're getting away from this, but this is the last of the old CW generation. They're playing it out as such. Like
Good. They need to stop it.
yeah, because they didn't do this with Stargirl. There's 2 seasons in, they're not screwing with that stuff.
No.
Definitely not with Doom Patrol. I saw the season finale.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh,
No,
I'm not
still-
going to
I'm
root
still
for
a
you.
few
Don't worry.
episodes
It's
behind.
just great.
Okay.
All I'll say is it has an oddly Power Rangers ending.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. When you see it, like, okay, I see what he meant.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah. And Titans isn't like it, and that's got 3 seasons now.
Yeah.
It's great because
Yeah.
DC is like, we don't have to do this stuff, CW stuff. Like, we're not Gossip Girl and that anymore.
No, they can get totally away
Mm.
from that. And if they're smart, they'll move all their stuff like Flash or anything new over to that, right?
Apparently, Flash is getting another season. I think this is the season that they renewed for. I think it's more because there are going to be things that are going to tie into, I think, after it plays out into the Flash movie, maybe.
Okay.
I think maybe they might do that, but I think this may be the last season, hopefully, for Flash, because I'm trying to think. Legends is his own thing, so they don't have to bother with
Legends.
that.
Yeah, they don't need to worry
It
about
kind of
that.
became
Yeah.
its own beast, so you don't
Yeah.
have to worry about that. But all the other old CW things that were full CW are gone after Flash, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm trying to remember. What else there? Superman Lois is definitely not.
Nope.
Batwoman is one of the newer ones that came in around Crisis, so it doesn't really count, and they don't really do this, although there's like family quirks into things now because they're doing new generation of the villains and stuff with Batwoman. But the Ruby Rose thing just totally changed, so it counts as a new show because they had to redo it from the ground up. Arrow, they thankfully passed on renewing into a new show. That went on for 8 seasons.
Yep.
Supergirl did 7 seasons, I'm going to say, when it ended the other day.
6 or 7, yeah.
6 or 7. They didn't even start the CW. That was over CBS.
Yep.
But that was because they half owned the CW.
Well, let's be honest, though, CBS actually screwed with it right from the start.
Yeah. That's why it got better when they put it over there.
When they
Like,
put it over on
as soon as
CW.
they
And
started
then
as soon as they put Flash on, people like it. It's like, oh, we got to do this.
they moved Supergirl from CBS to CW
Yeah.
and it got good.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 seasons or so,
Just played
it
out.
just played out.
This
It was like,
same
oh,
thing
okay.
as Flash, though.
Yeah.
It looks like everybody gets tired of it and they're working on other stuff. But that's what I mean. Like, but the attitudes and everything have changed now on shows. So I think this is hopefully they're going to either fix it with Flash or play it out with Flash and give it a good ending. Because Supergirl, the worst part of Supergirl's series finale, it had the super ultra happy ending kind of outcome to it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, right.
The trope that I hate so
and
much.
they ended it with a wedding. Yeah.
Gross.
No.
Gross. See, with the Flash, like if this is going to be the last season of Flash, what they should do.
Rose Gallery.
Well, yeah, okay, Rogues Gallery, but what they should do is the ending of this, like the series finale of the Flash, should bleed directly into the Flash movie.
Yeah. That's what I mean, right? Like, he's not
Right.
dead, but he's probably off in the,
off in
the Speed
multiverse.
Force somewhere.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So he might be actually a bit pivotal to the movie. But as well, they're talking about this crossover coming up as being more Justice League-y.
Yeah.
So you're going to see Black Lightning again, which is great,
Yeah,
because
which is
I
great.
liked that show a
Oh, I
lot.
loved Black Lightning. It was so good.
Although I did realize something, because I forgot about the true origins of the show, of the comic series before he went over to Outsiders. He's from Metropolis. That's why they gave him a different town, because it would have been awkward to be like, why is all this going on where Superman lives?
Yeah.
So they gave him the new town. That was the only reason why. And although that's a nod to it when Crisis happens and he goes back after Crisis happens, he's telling Gamby all this stuff. I was like, Gamby, oh, by the way, Superman's real. But Gamby's like, oh, yeah, of course he's real, blah, blah. But like before he left, Superman's a fictitious character.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, so we get to see all this stuff, hopefully. Maybe we'll get Batgirl and the Batwoman and the Outsiders too out of this. Because we're going to see Black Lightning team up with the Bat family.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be good. And we already know Katana exists in this universe. All we need now is Metamorpho.
Yeah. And it is a good time to do that because they've actually been working with Batwoman in the new vision of it. They did keep the Crazy Jane character, whatever her name is.
Okay.
But everybody else basically and Lucius's son. But they're all going in a new... They're not making it too woke or anything like that,
Right.
like as people put it. Like, I hate people who say that term, but they're not trying to make it too inserted.
Right.
If they're just going with it. Now it's like a storyline about she's found her mother. She didn't know who her mother was, and turns out her mother's actually very influential, and she may even have had an affair with Bruce Wayne.
Oh, okay.
So this Batwoman may actually be the illegitimate daughter of Bruce Wayne. There's this little play. And like another character's popped up that is supposed to be her half-brother, and he had an incident because he received the Joker buzzer to his head when he was 8 years old, and his school bus was taken hostage, and he's kind of getting Jokery now.
Oh.
So they're getting a new generation of characters. Like, they're not like, that's not the Joker's son or anything like that kind of thing. But
Yeah,
they're
it's still a legacy
spiritual.
kind of thing.
That's what they're doing now. They're having spiritual successors show up.
Okay.
So they are giving it the Batman vibe, but with Batwoman and some new characters, because they've already alluded to him as Joker. They've alluded to a Poison Ivy because there's all these like DNA samples in it for all these different people. Victor Freeze's equipment shows up and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
So they're like, this is the Bat family. Let's have fun with it. Like, they can't do directly Batman show. They can do Batwoman and all the rogues and new incarnations. So this is what they're doing. They should have been doing.
Yeah.
So it's actually starting to get fun.
And I never really understood why don't they just do a Batman show?
Because Fox owns the rights.
Yeah, frig Fox.
No, but they have to buy out the rights. They have to buy out the rights. Fox has first rights at an actual Batman show since the 60s. That's why even Gotham was a thing. Because originally, say, that concept for Gotham was going to be over at CW. Before they did Smallville, they switched it to Superman because developmentally early it was going to be a Batman show, but everyone was like, you can't do that. Why? Fox owns that. Fox has almost an in perpetuity license. So like that release of the Batman movie back then, that's licensed from Fox.
Those rights didn't move over to Disney?
Disney owns those rights, though. That's the thing, right? It's now Disney, but under Fox. 20th century, I mean to say.
Oh.
But those rights have been held since the 60s.
See, if Disney was smart,
they'd trade those rights with them for a couple
trade
things.
those rights, they'd use those rights and make a Batman show.
They do, but they license directly with Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers still gets involved, but it has to be over at Fox Network. No, not the movies though.
So
only thing to do with the television. So, oh yeah, no. They've even got a license already where the Batman movie that they did back in the 60s is released as Warner Brothers release.
Right.
But it's through a license.
Right. Okay.
But that's what I mean. Like it's a little hairy. That's why I think they avoided the Batman outfit a bit in Titans when they show what's his name playing Bruce Wayne.
Right.
But that's what I mean. But now they're having fun with some totally new stuff.
Okay, so that raises an interesting question. Then, so they can do Robin, but they can't do Batman.
Yeah.
Why?
Robin's an associated act. It's kind of the same thing as that Human Torch thing back when the Fantastic Four cartoon was on the go. Human Torch is separately licensed for another thing, and could be because it's mainly the team up aspect of it. Because there's different incarnations of Robin too. He's directly,
that's true.
He's directly Dick.
Yeah,
but they could turn around and say like, okay, well that doesn't preclude like Nightwing or whatever. And Titans is streaming, so that's a gray area, and they're allowed to do that with Robin and stuff like that as well. But there's been tons of Robins. There's even been Jarro's been a Robin. Remember
who?
Jarro, the little Starro clone that Batman resolved to raise right. He's technically one of the Bat Sons. He's a clone Starro.
No, I
you got to look that up sometimes. It's adorable. His nature versus nurture.
Okay.
All Jarro dreams about is being a Robin. He's being raised by Batman. Batman's like, I'm going to make sure you're not a little tyrant.
Okay.
So he basically took it on himself to raise a clone Starro morally instead of exterminating him. because he was a blank slate.
Okay.
And so look that up sometime, by the way, a little fun thing.
Yeah, that must be from the 60s or 70s.
No, it's actually very recent.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
very recent, like
Okay.
last 2 years. Like Rebirth.
Really?
It's a Rebirth thing.
Yeah, okay. Rebirth sucked.
No. New 52 sucked. Rebirth has been fun.
Oh, yeah, New 52 sucked. Yeah.
New 52 sucked. Definitely sucked. But no, yeah, the Robin stuff's a little bit different because that's also attached to Teen Titans. And that's been a cartoon and everything else on its own before. Tons of times. So they can just use Robin whenever.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Batman rights aren't really with Robin's not a direct thing. They can include Robin, but they don't. I don't think
So what they really have
he's
rights
not a
to,
deal breaker.
What they have rights to then is
Batman, Bruce Wayne.
Okay. So they don't have rights to like Gotham or Joker or anything like that.
But Gotham, because it's a general location, DC Universe can be used for other things.
Okay.
Because it's just like saying, well, we have territory over Washington, D.C. No, I don't, because there's other associated acts there. Gotham has other things going on that has nothing to do with the Batman. So that's why they can't say it.
Where do you get this information?
I've read comic books since I was 4 years
No,
old.
but where do you get this licensing information?
Well,
Like-
some of the licensing information is just general ideas. You can't just like take the term Gotham even, because Gotham is a term that predates DC. It
Well,
was
Gotham's
an old term for New York.
New York, yeah.
That's what I mean, right? But Gotham City, because other properties use it as well, same thing as Robin, other properties use it as well, they didn't get an exclusive lockdown, in other words. So Batman, Bruce Wayne, and Gotham together as a TV show can only be done on Fox, because they hold a license.
So if they did like a Batman in Bloodhaven, could they get away with that?
They could probably, especially if it's Dick
mean, I
Grayson.
know.
It could be, especially if it's Dick Grayson under that
Yeah,
outfit.
but I know
or
it
Nightwing.
won't work. Like Batman in Bloodhaven wouldn't work because everybody associates Batman with Gotham.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if they wanted to really do a Batman show, could they do that? You think?
They probably could.
Okay.
They probably formed a schmaltz a little bit, but they've already been able to bend rules because, like I said, Titans is arguably a TV show more than streaming, and they have Bruce Wayne in it.
Yeah.
And Gotham and the Batcave, the only thing is he wasn't in the suit.
Right.
So that was the only thing.
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
licenses get weird, and that's why newer licenses
Yeah,
now are
really
negotiated differently, because that was a license that was negotiated in the 60s with the 20th Century Fox Corporation.
They need to update
yeah,
that.
they need to renegotiate that
They
thing.
need to renegotiate that.
Well, that's why there's those estates pushing this stuff now with, like, the rights for, like, Stanley, Jack Kirby, all those people. It's really their estates, it's not them. It's because all these new things have come out now that haven't been negotiated for, like streaming. Because what they've seen is they've seen Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit. It was like, wait, we literally own a stake in these characters. Why aren't we getting a cut?
Yep.
And now they're saying, it's like, hey, what's this Disney Plus crap? This is why this is all being happening. People are like, oh, they might not have the rights. Anyway, get that crap out of the way. That's going to be fixed.
Well, I mean, it's got to be fixed, right?
It's got to be fixed because there's new stuff coming in that
new
just
stuff coming in all the
nobody
time.
took anticipation of.
Yeah.
Like, let alone Disney buying them, but Disney having a streaming service to rival Netflix. Which is to them at that point before probably like, oh, that bunch that sells DVDs through the mail?
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I mean.
Well, I mean, just think about it. Like they went from paper copies of comics to something that you can download onto your phone now, right?
Well, I've noticed that Warner Brothers has been very proactive about it because, like, as good as Krypton was, they killed it because they were the licensor. And they killed
This is
it.
too bad.
Although I think they have the option, because I think the way that IPs work with newer stuff like that, they can take those IPs and actually carry them over. Because, like, same thing with John Constantine. He was still produced with Greg Berlanti and all that, but just at NBC. And so they were able to carry him over and legacy him. So we might still see that in the whole multiverse area things, but that was over at Sci-Fi. They couldn't take that and run that on their new streaming service or whatever, so they killed it so that they can do something else with it. And, well, Superman and Lois.
And, that really makes it unfortunate because there are fans. Like, I was a fan of Krypton.
I loved it.
Right? It was a great series.
Yeah.
But because of the licensing issues, like you just said around it came to an early demise.
Warner Brothers basically is like third parties working on actual production is one thing, but like for development distribution, they try to keep all the stuff in house now.
Right.
Because right now Marvel still has the hairy bits of like a few things, like the Sony stuff is still over there, and some things happen, some stuff can fall apart.
Yeah.
It's not like it's all tidy in house, right? And that's been DC/Warner Brothers since the 70s. They've made sure licenses burned out because they got burned on the Batman thing.
Right.
And they keep getting burned on it because now Disney owns those rights.
Right.
So that's the thing about licensing and that. And like, I've read up on it a bit, and like I have my little rabbit hole times on it. And it's like, that's why the Superman stuff is allowed to be just everywhere, so they don't get screwed on it. There's no more exclusivities on things and long-term lock-ins.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But I mean, there's always that danger when you license your stuff out anyway. Like somebody's going to misuse it or misrepresent it, and
Well,
I think Disney's doing the right thing with the MCU there.
Yeah.
They're keeping everything in house and they're getting back as much properties as they can.
The thing is that when people talk about, after this movie, Sony is probably going to take back Spider-Man, blah, blah. There's nothing worth it in it for them, too, because there's a couple of things. So back in 2011, when they had a hard time for money, they sold back all the merch rights, everything, to Marvel, Disney. They needed a cash infusion. They were getting ready to launch the PS4, and they needed R&D money in general for Sony as a company as a whole. So they gave up a real sweet plum. That's why you start seeing a lot more action figures, blah, blah, again, stuff like that. Because Disney side of it, they used to put a ban on stuff that other companies had licenses for because it was viewed as free promotion. Right. So that's why certain characters even had their titles canceled, like Fantastic Four for a while was canceled in the 2000s because of that. But, they sold those rights back. And just a few months ago, actually, Sony has reached an agreement with Disney for putting this stuff on Disney+. For the catalog. Their actual catalog is going on Disney Plus. So they're actually getting cozier.
And it's slowly all getting up there now.
Yeah.
Because I think Venom is up there now.
Yep.
Not the new one, the older one, the one from, 3 years ago?
But I mean, stuff that's not licensed like James Bond, like any of the actual Sony Columbia stuff is popping up on there too in general.
Yeah.
And like Stars, that label, I think that they're putting that all under.
Yep.
Stars a great label. Stars has been a thing for ages internationally for them to distribute through, apparently, when they were just Fox or something like that. But they... I'd say we're going to see more Spider-Man stuff.
I would think so too.
We're getting the Sinister Six.
They're building that whole Spider-Man universe. It's it's going to be over on Sony. I have no doubt about that. It's going to be over on Sony, but Marvel, the MCU or Marvel and Disney are going to play a huge part in it.
Well, Marvel's bottom line and Disney and Sony's bottom line greatly increased with their partnership.
Oh, did it ever?
Last Spider-Man movie made over $1 billion.
Yeah.
The first one to do it.
Yeah.
Sony looked at that and Kevin Feige was doing that for free, by the way, working on those things. That was just a part of them with the license. He wasn't getting extra compensation or anything for it, for him running it for Sony. And they looked at this and Sony was just holding on because they like everything in their own thing. That's why you get memory sticks that are only on their crap and games are only on their crap and stuff like that. And then they decided, no, we do a lot better when we play together and
everybody wins.
So they're probably going to push Spider-Man more. I'd say after this film, we're going to see like mega Spider-Man everywhere because people want.
Do you think?
I think so because they've been pushing for the sequel to the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
that's been pushed
and
since
that
it came
actually
out.
is another series that's coming out on Disney Plus. Spider-Man Freshman Year.
Yep,
is another series. I think it's going to be an animated series, but
that's still got to be done with Sony too.
Yeah, it's still got to be done with Sony.
Yeah. Because that's not rights they gave up.
I think Spider-Man, like the Tom Holland version of Spider-Man, I think we're going to see less and less of him in the MCU proper, but still in that universe.
Yeah, they're going to make him multimedia.
They're going to, like Spider-Man for the longest, like a lot of people who are not comic book fans, Spider-Man was never an Avenger until probably only about 20 years ago.
Yeah,
he was never an Avenger. He always interacted with
Skrull invasion kind of thing, wasn't it? Or
the Skrull invasion, I think, is where he started. Yeah,
and Spider-Woman joined as well, and Wolverine.
But Spider-Man has always been his own thing. Yeah. And the other heroes only briefly interacted with him,
like Fantastic Four, and
like
stuff
the Fantastic Four, Daredevil, the Punisher, obviously.
Yeah, they're New York,
the New York superheroes.
New York.
So I mean, I think maybe that's what we're going to see, where Spider-Man kind of goes back to his corner of New York.
Yeah,
he was never a cosmic-based superhero. Like he
this
was
is
never
more
went to space and
I think
fought Thanos on Titan and shit like that. No, he never.
I think it was more the last little bit of him, and we're establishing him in the MCU. Now we're going to go everywhere with him.
When we're going to go everywhere,
as this not Tobey Maguire, not this, and not some other. We're keeping him as this Peter Parker, but we're going to go everywhere with him because he's as much synonymous now because. They got that part done now. Like Tobey Maguire did like, and Andrew Garfield did like, but they had aspects to them. They did look older and stuff. But was it the thing about Tom Holland? They showed him when he was 15, and they showed him now. It's like Tom Holland looked like he was 10 when he was 15, and he's 21. He looks 15 now.
Yeah.
So like you believe him as this kid,
as Peter Parker. Yeah.
And like So And we got quite a few movies of him established now, so we can see him ever and see his life.
Yeah, exactly. There's no problem with that. Now, I would like to see Peter Parker as an older person as well, right? Like, because in the comics, he actually started his own company, Parker Industries, and he was a
teacher for a while.
He was a teacher for a little while at Empire State University, and so there's a lot of different actors. I mean, he's married to Mary Jane Watson.
Yeah, and she was a supermodel.
She was a supermodel.
So I mean, he was everywhere with it.
So it's going to be interesting to see if we delve into anything with that.
He went to Canada and hung out with sports legends and told you to stay off drugs.
Stay off drugs. That's right, he did. What was that series called?
On Thin Ice was the first.
On Thin Ice was the first one.
And that was in New Brunswick, I think.
Yeah.
And there's the second one. I got it somewhere, and I can't remember what it is.
And the covers were done by McFarlane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex Havoc, I think, did the interiors, but they were done with the RCMP.
Yes, they were done in conjunction with the RCMP.
And
it's kind of funny that Spider-Man came to Canada to tell kids to stay off drugs, and now here we are, weeds legalized.
Yeah. He's swinging through trying a weed store. What the hell?
What's going on here?
Man, Canada's weird.
Spidey would not know the country if he came back here at all. So, but yeah, so I mean, like, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on for the MCU and Marvel in the next decade or so.
You know what?
Some stuff got pushed back too.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're working with I think they avoided that strike, didn't they?
I'm not sure.
As well, they look like COVID, but like realistic expectations, probably what they can put out.
There was one that was supposed to be released in 2022, and it's got bumped back to 2023, and I'm trying to remember what it was. And I can't for the life of me.
It wasn't Thor, because Thor's basically in the can.
No, it wasn't Thor. It was something new that they were working on.
Oh, okay.
They bumped it back.
One of the Marvel Ms. Marvel ones?
Ms. Marvel.
Yeah.
That's what it was Ms. Marvel.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. Or the Marvels.
Yeah.
The Marvels, not Miss Marvel, because that series is ongoing.
Well, they probably figured out something in the stack that probably would have made that a bit too early to release, maybe.
Probably.
They probably realized more, because they're very, very attention to detail with their whole map of how things go. That's a good thing about keeping under one roof then, right? Yeah. I was talking to a couple of people the other day. They really got to push an Alpha Flight series, and plus now where Canada has a lot of ability of telefilm funding, especially this province is looking to help out.
Well, Alpha Flight would make sense now because the characters who are all technically X-Universe characters are over here now. Yeah. Are over in the MCU. Yeah. Or in the Disney staple. The Disney stable, not staple. And why not?
They're planning on bringing in Namor. They got to introduce his wife.
Yeah, which is, of course,
a Newfoundlander.
Marina.
Yeah, Marina Pittman.
Yep. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see how they do that. I mean, like, we got Sasquatch, we got Puck, we got Guardian and Vindicator. We got some pretty powerful characters. Well, I mean, the Hudson's tied directly into Wolverine's origin.
Well, that's what I mean. Maybe they used the series as well, because he was originally an Alpha Flight member.
He was the
before an X-Man. He was an Alpha Flight member.
He was the Alpha Flight leader.
And Marvel likes observing continuity better under this new.
It would make sense if they did a Weapon X series, and that's where Alpha Flight spins out of.
Yeah, and they do that as a prequel series afterwards. When you see Wolverine, then afterwards you do a dedicated Weapon X series. Yeah. You make it a little dark.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see Wolverine Origins done as a series. That would be a good series.
That'd be a good thing to start doing. Like they can do their own prequel series as they bring them out and that too.
Yeah. Like we got a little taste of that in X-Men Origins Wolverine at the start, where we see the young James Howlett with the bone claws and stuff. But they never, everything else after that was just a montage of.
What was the opening credits? What was the opening credits basically?
Yeah. But I mean, Wolverine's younger years history, there's a lot going on there, right? So
especially really now that Chris Evans is Captain America, and they did interact in the histories. Because Weapon 1 and Weapon 10. That's who they are.
Yep, that's who they are.
But it was the pre-memory issues Wolverine as well.
Wolverine, yeah.
So he was just over as an operative, and him and Cap. So that'd be cool to go back to.
Yeah. Yeah, oh God, that would be really great.
World War II, the two of them around the beach there, and it's Chris Evans and Wolverine.
That would be awesome.
Come on.
That would be so kick-ass.
Yeah.
Right?
Come on, you got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to do it at some point.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I think, though, the sad part about that is I think a lot of casual fans would get very confused.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but
I mean, you can't just look at the 1960s, 1970s history stuff and how bold into the 80s. You got to look at the 90s and onwards, too, where you got more stuff like now you got a golden opportunity as well for the first Captain kind of thing, and Battlestar to be covered more and things like that. The original, well, he was supposed to be one of the other super soldiers, and he was supposed to be Captain America in the comics.
Yeah. For
a while, he served as a Captain America, the one that you meet there. Like, he's nutty, and he's putting stuff through a wall.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and he is actually a younger actor that they made look older, so he can actually still pull off some of the earlier career stuff too, if they wanted to go that way with him.
Yeah.
Maybe do a little anthology series of different Captain Americas.
That would be very cool.
1700s Captain America, like that revolutionary Captain America.
He existed. What was he called?
I'm trying to remember. It's one of those alternate
Spirit of 76 or something like
that.
Or was that? No,
that's another guy in
like
post Cold War.
Right.
Yeah. No, when they did one of the alternate ones where it was revolutionary, around 1776 or something like that, there was Captain America, and they did another one where it was like 1800s and stuff like that. So that'd be cool to do, like as like an anthology series of it, or like different voices, like not just What If, but like more nice, just slices out of their history, not like with the Watcher and that those were presented differently as just other parts of the multiverse.
Yeah. A lot of stuff Marvel can do now, and I mean they're starting to tap into it. The one thing I didn't like though about Disney Plus Day, there was no mention of Daredevil, there was no mention of Punisher, there was no mention of Jessica Jones or Luke Cage or Iron Fist or the Defenders.
I'm wondering if it's because stuff like that, when they ignore that stuff sometimes, is because they're trying to save it for something else.
What they're trying to do, I think, is go carte blanche. They want to give everybody a break from that stuff, so they can go, hey, I know it's been 5 or 6 years. Here's Daredevil again. Here's the Punisher
and it's
again.
just no announcement. He just shows up in something.
Just shows up. I still think we're going to see Matt Murdock in No Way Home.
Well,
I really do.
And going back to licensing stuff I was talking about, I think all the rights for all that material fell right back to Marvel. I think they have the rights to the scripts and the footage, all that stuff. So I think they're allowed to integrate it because it's the same thing, like I said, with the whole John Constantine thing when NBC ended their agreement and they had a couple of years. They had a cool off for a few years, and then they brought him in that Arrow episode.
Yeah.
So it may do the same thing, but do what Marvel does, and they surprise you because you get really surprised, and then you get the big buzz like, oh my god, this blah blah, and then like a week later they announce the series or something.
Yeah. That's what Marvel does, man. They drop in that cameo appearance. Well, I mean, look at the Eternals.
Yeah.
The after credits trailer.
Yeah.
Mentioned Blade. You guys mentioned Blade the other week. Week later, Marvel comes out and says, "Yeah, that was Blade.
Yeah.
That we're doing this.
That's the exact guy playing Blade that we announced a few months ago. Yeah. And contributing that voice. So it was like,
yeah.
And he's got the sword already.
And he's got the sword. So this is like they're doing a lot of stuff like. Dane Whitman bringing in the Black Knight. The Black Knight's got his own convoluted family history and the Curse of the Ebony Sword and all that stuff. And they're really going, like, Marvel's going deep now, man. Like, they're going deep.
And I said it before, I wonder if those two are going to team up with Michael Morbius. Because where Sony's been playing a lot more better. And
team
you see
up with or team up against?
Well, initially they'll probably hunt him because they think he's a vampire, because his usual mix-up does, but they learn later on he's not really a true vampire. He's heavily genetically modified to duplicate vampire abilities, but he's a living human being with no supernatural roots.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's how it goes, and I think in the comics anyway, when him and Blade end up teaming up afterwards, and they do that whole thing that destroys vampires later on, the Darkhold or something.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
And that's been floating around already a lot more.
The Darkhold has, yeah.
And there's a page in there that destroys vampires of all origin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's the Book of the Dead lists all vampires, because in the 80s, like Dracula and all them, Tomb of Dracula was all a thing.
Yeah.
They killed off all the vampires. The thing, even like there was a cow vampire, that got killed.
Yeah.
Only one survived was Morbius, because he's not
a vampire.
He's not a true vampire. He's taken genetics from different species that duplicate these things and put them in himself.
Yeah. And I hope they really play with that.
Yeah.
I really hope they play with that.
That's what I really want to see, is like how far he pushed himself and what he put in there. And that's what I mean. And then they start using it as like, he can pick up a truck and throw it kind of thing. And like, but he's not having to be like Daywalker material. But then you got a Daywalker and you got a guy who's not really a vampire and the Black Knight. And we're going to start getting some supernatural stuff on the go.
Well, this definitely can turn into
the Midnight Suns.
The Midnight Suns, that's right.
That's what I mean, right? Like,
and
Ghost Rider.
On top of that, they just launched a game called the Midnight Suns on one of their gaming
they did announce
sites.
previous to this too, we are getting a Ghost Rider series.
That's
I'm
right.
pretty sure.
But is it going to be the Ghost Rider from S.H.I.E.L.D., Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Well, see, different people have held it.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Zarathos floats around to different people.
I am classic Johnny Blaze, though.
Yeah,
or Danny
Ketch. Yeah, one of those two is great.
One of those two got to be.
Well, that's what they've been shown. They'd like to go to the OG first and then continue on if they're going to hand it off somebody. So
then are we looking at the Phantom Rider from the 1800s?
I don't know about that, because he kind of got a little. There was like a pause in that between two after him too, right? Yes. You never really heard about one until the first one, Johnny Blaze.
Right.
There was like that huge gap. So, and they may touch on that or whatever, but maybe he's already kind of whispering things in other people's ears or giving them guidance like Obi-Wan.
Maybe.
That's another thing got announced too. I think is Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan got announced, or Kenobi, is it called?
Kenobi,
Yeah,
but apparently Christensen's going to be in it too. So
Hayden
Darth
Christensen?
Vader's going to be on the go.
Yeah, and
like that.
and Hayden Christensen's going to be in the Ahsoka series too. How do you pronounce her name?
Ashoka or something like that.
Ashoka, I don't know.
Yeah.
Which of course is launching on Disney Plus.
They're learning that they got an expanded universe of everything they own now. They don't have to just concentrate on the cores anymore and just be monorail with everything.
I'm so happy they've moved away from the Skywalker series. The Skywalker saga, man. I was tempted to sit down today and watch the Rise of Skywalker again. I'm like, no, I just can't bring myself to do it.
It's fine. I might revisit it in a couple of years, but the only one I really do enjoy is that first one they came back with because you got to see the universe as it progressed.
Oh, The Force Awakens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting into other things is great. Like playing at that time where you didn't see Obi-Wan. It's kind of like, like how Stargirl touches on some of the older characters that were not concentrated on as much back in the day. They're discovering like there's this whole time they could be looking at.
Yeah.
And we get to see that with Obi-Wan.
There's a huge, exactly. I mean, there's like, 20 or 30 years there? No, at least 20 between the end of Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
Because we get we literally saw the very first spark of the Empire starting in that. So we get to see where worlds stop being part of the old Republic died, and as the Empire's reach goes too, right? So we're probably going to see this hopefully side by side. So we see the state of the affairs geopolitically, which would be great. And you see some of the R&D, some of the in-between models of stuff, and droids, and how some of the Outer Rim operates more. Like we've seen some of it with Mandalorian too. That's what has been great, but we get some of that before action because we were seeing Imperial Remnant pop up through Mandalorian. Yeah, because they have they're stormtroopers, but they're in horribly maintained outfits.
Horribly maintained uniforms.
Like they're piss pot dictators, as the term goes. They're not really Imperials.
And we got Moff Gideon, who's kind of like a Tarkin Darth Vader combination ripoff /
I like that actor though.
Oh, he is fantastic.
Giancarlo?
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa!
GG.
Dropping the F-bomb.
No, GG.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll say GG.
All right.
We'll say fuddle duddle on this one, as they say here in Canada.
But the F-bomb, folks.
See, he's got a wider I see. I liked him as Gus on Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad, yep.
And that's where he saw how he was on the outside. He was so sunny to everyone because he owned this KFC kind of place.
What was it called?
Pollo Locos or something crazy. Chicken Brothers, something like that.
Yeah.
But he just straight up slashes a guy's throat because he couldn't make the meth the way what's his name did.
Yeah.
He was ignoring stuff and was like, totally almost comically intolerant of things. But just so dark and you see this Moff Gideon character, but he's so very driven by things and he's not a true Sith or anything, is he?
I don't think so. No.
But that's what I mean. I think he's driven by this inferiority because Vader was this legend and this is post Vader.
He's definitely driven.
He wants to be the new Vader.
He wants to be the new Vader. He's definitely driven by Sith ideology.
Yeah,
no doubt in my mind.
He's one of these people that were the Nazis were right kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't one originally or something like that. Yeah. But that's what I mean. And plus the Emperor's gone too. So there's this huge power vacuum. Yeah. So I hope we see this unfold pretty cool and see where stuff goes. Maybe we do see where the New Order kind of actually had interesting origins.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Versus these abortions of film.
Yeah. that actually would be interesting to see.
I don't hate those films. It's just they had so much squandered presentation.
They had so much potential.
That's what I mean, right?
Fell
flat. It was just squandered.
Right, I know they turned it over to J.J. Abrams because J.J. Abrams made a big name when he did the Star Trek stuff.
Spielberg.
And everybody had hope for J.J. Abrams, and he took a huge dump on the mythology.
I love, what's his name? Rian, whatever her name is, did Knives Out. I absolutely adore that film.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
But, as a Star Wars director, maybe not his forte.
Rian Johnson,
yeah.
Or Ryan Johnson, or however else.
Because that film is just great. It's one of the most delicious screenplays that was ever put up that could have been a stage film that you could just sat back and laugh at with friends. Yeah. But, it's great, but that's an amazing film. But then he did that film, Star Wars film, and it's just oh. Yeah. And some of the stuff was a bit pushy, with the girl. No, and I don't like that they gave her a hard time in real life, though. She was doing her job.
Oh, no, I don't like that either, no.
No, I think this is one of her bigger, newer roles, and, she
Yeah.
was giving it. And, people do that sometimes, because they want to show it's their role, but then people are like, oh, they're trying to blah, blah, and it's like the internet's a horrible place.
Oh, my God, yeah. For stuff like that, that poor woman got dragged through the mud for no reason other than gatekeeping fanboys.
Yeah.
Didn't like the fact that, oh, well, here we go. You know, there's a woman doing this character and blah, blah. Oh, she's like, shut up.
Another one that actually lost her job because she was a horrible human being. They want to raise on their shoulders, right? Like, and there's always that little article that comes out every year. So this is how she's coming back next season. This is how she's coming back next season to keep them little idiots all on a string.
Well, it's trolling. Trolling for trolls, I guess, is what it is, right?
Easy pickings at the fishing hole.
Easy pickings. There's a low-hanging fruit on the internet, right? So, but I seriously thought I was going to sit down this afternoon and rewatch Rise of Skywalker. And I was like,
No, you know what you should watch?
Cannot do that.
The Ewok movies.
No.
Yeah, do them.
No.
I'll make you some brownies.
No.
I'll send you a bottle.
I will need them.
Well, that's what we should do, though, sometime. We should watch them together like that, have a microphone set up and just riff those things.
I could probably do that.
I remember Video Gallery used to have two of them, You could rent them back in the day.
Yeah.
And they were on TV. But I watched them on TV, the two of them.
I remember watching them on TV because they were on CBS.
Yeah.
I remember that. They were on CBS.
Yeah,
we should watch that and the holiday special.
I think so. Oh, see, she doesn't like the holiday special. And I downloaded it as an ISO. It had a cover and everything. Like, it came along with it. You burn out the ISO. It's a special DVD. They put a menu and everything. You also get The Muppet Show starring Mark Hamill.
Oh, my God.
You get every single toy commercial, every single trailer, and you can just watch the Boba Fett part on its own.
Yeah, okay, we need to do this.
Yeah,
we definitely need to do
it's
this.
totally like, it has like, I printed off, like I've had it for like 10 years. And I have it ready to go. I have a large amount of actual like blank DVDs. I could do the Ewok ones as well, I guess. I have a printer. I could make some covers, and I got some blank DVD cases. Make it a blockbuster
way too
night.
excited here. Do you need a towel?
No, I need some
Holy
brownies,
Lord.
and
Yeah,
I
I
want
bet
to,
you
and
do.
probably I'll fill my cooler full of ice and a few brews in front. But like, definitely wood-fired homemade pizza and horrible, like
Awful.
awful, but highly regarded awful.
But when you think about it, like how Star Wars survived the holiday special, it survived the Ewoks movies, it survived the cartoon series Droids. Like, how did it survive all that? It's garbage. Like, you look at it now, it's like, oh.
Well, like, you look
Rich.
at Ewoks now, the cartoon, it was like Indian stories without being Indian stories and being too super condescending.
That's exactly what they were.
Droids was like taking the comical pair from the series and putting them in comical situations, which was kind of good, but like it was really geared towards the 5 and 6 year olds, like playing with the
wasn't
droids.
ever.
It was really much varied towards, because they had a toy line for both, but like I had the R2D2. He very much was a caricature style toy versus like the main series.
Right.
But like you had those, and then you had those two, but they are not canon, thankfully. But they were an attempt to, like, I think they were trying to do a second attempt at bringing it to TV.
Yeah.
With a high production value. It's basically like two pilots, and then they just cut it all off.
Yeah.
It was great.
I remember everybody getting excited when the Ewoks movies came out because it was going to the new chapter of Star Wars.
I liked them when I
and
was a
they
kid.
never, but
They never went anywhere.
They never went anywhere with them, and they didn't tie into the mythology at all, except for the fact that they were on Endor.
Yeah. That was just another rando bunch of people showed up on the
That
planet.
was all it was.
Yeah.
You didn't see anything about the Empire.
No.
You didn't see anything about Vader.
I don't even
or
think
the
they dropped the
Emperor.
Skywalker film. I think it was more like a license spinning out of the Ewok
That's all
property.
it was,
I think
yeah.
is what it was, and they were like, they had an option for a couple movies or something. Probably that was about it. And they were like, nope. Oh, the guy from Willow, Matt Margan's friend Eric, he passed away. The actor Gillaney or whatever his name is. He was the older Cunningham brother on Happy Days.
Oh,
And he was the red-headed general guy in Willow.
Okay.
So Matt Margan, they left you up there for a reason, kind of thing. He passed away.
Oh, okay.
70.
Okay.
Long career. But that made me think of, because that was around just a couple years after Star Wars. Willow's almost like a Star Wars movie to me, but in a fantasy.
Kind of.
It's like a story.
It looks like they're doing another one.
Yeah, they're doing a series.
They're doing a series.
It's going to be Disney
Okay.
Plus.
Okay.
They're Willow's coming to Disney Plus.
Okay.
But yeah, not revisit that stuff, but definitely watch it again with, like I said, a few friends. And you got to film reactions. Everybody just buckles in because it's.
See, I don't know if I'd be able to survive. I'd be like, oh, this
Oh,
is so bad.
you'd have to start with No, you'd have to end with the holiday special because you can't take anything seriously. Jefferson's Starship is there.
Yep.
What's it, Donna Carroll, whatever's there, and Grandpa's basically watching the porno.
I was going to say Grandpa's watching the strippers or something.
Basically,
isn't he?
she's
Yeah.
supposed to be that, but it's safe for TV thing. What Grandpa's doing, and then you got like B. Arthur. Although They didn't have the part in that was on the Richard Pryor show at the time. Richard Pryor show actually did a sketch where I guess they got all the guys in the outfits to show up in a bar setting.
Okay.
And he actually used the N-word at one point. He says, "You look just like whatever I knew from Detroit or whatever." And it's one of the Star Wars characters from the Cantina. Okay. Basically, it's all the Cantina characters in a random Chicago bar. And he's the barkeep.
Gotcha.
But, like, they didn't have that, sadly, on that DVD. But, like, it's just ridiculous. Like, you have, like, you know, variety show performers and...
Yep.
Singers and
I got about
space.
It's only half an hour long or something, isn't it? Or an hour?
40. It's like an hour with commercials.
I got like 10 minutes into it. And I was like, "Oh, Life Day."
Yeah,
whatever.
You gotta have appreciation. Even like the music is just like not as awful. Budgety. Mew 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 mew. You know all that.
It's just terrible.
It was definitely a bunch of money was waved in his face when they did it.
Oh my god, yeah.
But it was also a stipulation with Carrie Fisher to do the DVD commentaries, apparently, or something like that for a re-release. She wanted an actual physical copy, and he gave it to her.
Really?
Yep. Okay. Look it up sometime. She has the only actual first gen, so to speak, off the original material copy, not some recorded that's been 2 or 3 generations since dubbed off. So, yeah, her estate has one in possession.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I watch it now, and I don't watch it every year, but I'll break it out sometimes and I'll watch it at Christmas.
I was going to say, that came out between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Or something,
yeah, 70. It was
79.
It's episode 4.5 because even Lucas admits it is in continuity because it takes place between the 2 events.
Right.
So it's just before Empire. Empire's 1980. So yeah, it's 79.
79.
And he's got a dodge out because he was doing other movies, something like that. And he's all fresh faced. So Hamill doesn't even look like himself. Some people say, "Oh, the accent." He said himself he broke his nose. Oh. That's all that happened in that accent. He wasn't disfigured, but like they I think they kind of played fun. It's like, we're gonna make y'all look all shagged up, but he broke his nose. They had to fix it a little bit they had to put an insert in or something like that, plastic surgery. It wasn't anything like his face got caved in and had to be overhauled, but he definitely looked like he was doing other work. Because his hair's short, even blonder. It's all like it's all shiny blonde. His color is just like
so bad.
It looked like they're covering a tan.
That's what it looked like.
It looked like, and especially like the bleached teeth. It looked like he was doing some. I think there was a surfer movie or something. It wasn't American Graffiti or something like that though. But yeah, and Carrie Fisher, she can't remember doing that. That's why she wanted the copy.
Well, Carrie Fisher was, pretty messed up on drugs at that point.
Draft genitals.
Yes, she was pretty into the cocaine and stuff at that point.
She was singing because she was raised as a song and dance kid by Debbie Reynolds, her mom. But but they have like all the other actors there. But you can see where they did some stuff on videotape and where they cut in with some stuff they filmed on film in the studio or whatever, like the Vader stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're watching through any of the Imperial stuff, is all film, except for like when they're in the home of the Wookiee family,
the Chewbacca family,
and old Art Carney from the Honeymooners is there.
Oh God.
And there's like 2.
You're making my brain hurt, man. Like just even thinking with this stupid show.
What's his name from the Carol Burnett show? Does like 2 or 3 separate sketches. The B. Arthur one I laugh at, but I like B. Arthur because she did some sort of more filthier stuff in the Mel Brooks side of things with the History World Part 1.
Yeah.
They announced Part 2
the
other week.
Oh,
yep.
Okay.
It's going to be done for Hulu. Nice. History World Part 2. Been waiting all my life for this. This is one of my favorite Mel Brooks films. Sketch comedy. But back to that though, like it was just so strange. You could tell it was a film made by executives.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's totally
It was totally a let's cash in on this Star Wars thing.
Like I said, what's her name? She was a songstress of the disco era. It was still in the disco era. You had Jefferson Starship, which is like, the non-disco stuff for the rockers. And you had like, people who were fun on TV still because Carol Burnett was a thing. So some of the performers from that popped up and old farts like Art Carney. And I think B. Arthur was doing Maude then.
I think that's what she was doing at the time.
So like she was kind of popular then. But it was just like, who do we have already on pay? We'll stick them in this.
We'll make some more money off it.
Yeah.
Sell some more toys.
I'm not doing that. It's in your contract.
Yeah.
It's in your contract. Come on.
Yeah.
That's
just so bad. But we did get Boba Fett out of it, so it can't be all 100%.
Yeah, and that's why they put that on the DVD they got. They put that separate. You can just watch that. And made it in Canada, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nelvana. That was Nelvana's first job.
Yeah.
Nelvana was her first job. Who went on to do Ewoks droids. But there was a few little cash-in-y things like that besides that I found for like Christmassy stuff. I remember there was a Super Mario Brothers on Ice thing. And the guy who was Mr. Belvedere played King Koopa. It was like NBC showed it. And I'm trying to remember, they had like their 2 teen starlets from the 80s hosting it. But it was like, I think they were trying to show it to launch like some tour that didn't come through. Because that was back also when the Ninja Turtles had that rock and roll tour. I remember that stuff advertised as a kid. Like, all these shameless tie-ins to make more money.
Yeah, and that's all they were, too. It was just tie-ins to make more money.
Like, oh my God, like, What time is it now? Oh my God. Oh, we talked about this stuff so much in a show that we didn't talk about much, in a way. It's
Well,
like
there's
5
not been a whole lot going. We
No.
talked on it early on.
No,
so.
there wasn't. Legends has been back, and that's been having its usual
And
fun.
I don't get it on Crave.
No.
I got the last season 6, but not season 7
It's
yet.
weird.
So.
I think they're doing something a little different, but it's still on CW there, yeah. And they're like right into the last season's stuff leading into this season. And it's funny. They're gotten a little different, too, because the Wave Rider's not a thing. They're using John's house, but John's not there. Although the actor playing him, Matt Ryan, I'm not going to say what he plays, but he plays another totally different character in this week's episode. That's all I'm going to say. Like, yeah, he doesn't play John Constantine, or it doesn't seem to be.
But can you tell it's Matt Ryan?
Oh, you can tell it's Matt Ryan. They kind of hint at it, kind of thing, make a joke at the expense, but no, it's Matt. They're kind of doing Star Trek, where they get an actor to play more than one thing. I think they're Mark Lenarding him, but the reverse, where afterwards they got him play Sarek, but he was the Romulan commander, or whatever.
He was Romulan commander. Yeah.
So I think they're doing the other end. They're making him the Romulan commander because they needed a guy. I think he was probably still around. His hair is brown and he has a beard. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
But like he's playing a totally different character, and a different time.
That's kind of funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Just the way they don't do it as a running joke, but it's just like, and they don't even really play into it. So they kind of like don't focus on that it's Matt. It's just like he's this character. It's like, oh wait, but it's not John Constantine. What?
Yeah.
But like so Legends is just off doing its own thing. So I don't know what they're probably going to treat it here in Canada like end of the season. Here's all the episodes on like.
I would say that's what they're going to do. Yeah.
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 Not much else has been on. I'm trying to remember.
Well, this week we got Star Trek Discovery starting Thursday night.
Oh, this week?
This week.
Oh,
Thursday
I thought that was.
Wednesday night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is this week.
Yeah, because
Starts this
everything.
week.
Yeah, because the whole getting in the Christmas season and everything. Yeah.
So like the next couple of weeks, there's
It's
a lot.
gonna be a lot.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff coming out. Star Trek Discovery starts.
Yeah.
We got Hawkeye starting over on Disney Plus.
Yep.
Ghostbusters Afterlife comes out.
Yeah.
So there's really a lot going on.
In the less than legal areas I've been looking on the internet, there's always rips of the James Bond film out. So that's, I think, up as well.
It is.
online.
No, it's on Amazon Prime right now.
It is on Prime?
Yeah.
I might just rent it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, there's a lot of good watching coming up now. And like I said, Flash is actually going all in. This is a 5-episode arc, apparently.
Yes.
So it's going to be into
Well, that's what
Christmas.
I was asking. That's what I was asking last week. Like, is the entire Armageddon arc self-contained in the Flash?
I never did check out for the episodes. Yeah,
Right.
if it's going into, it might be meanwhile kind of thing, like they do with some crossovers in the
Possibly.
comics. That this happened at a different point in time, so they don't have to worry about bogging down those other series with their running continuities.
Yeah.
This might be, they might be using Flash as like a standalone, like they've done with the Crisis and that, where they retitle things, but they may be treating it as more the central running point of it.
Yeah.
But if we get Captain Atom or something like that,
That'd be cool.
that'd be cool.
Oh, I'd love to see that. Well,
Cool as
you know,
hell.
like we talked about last week, Monarch is the main character,
Yeah.
who was originally supposed to be a villainized version of Captain Atom.
Yeah.
That they turned into
Hawk from Hawk and Dove, and
Hawk and
well,
Dove.
although there's not really a prohibition on him, I don't think they want to confuse people with him just over in Titans. Yeah, because he's not as big as the other people to have that recognition we can go back and forth with. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Captain Atom.
Do you think?
Maybe.
Is it
Maybe
even going to
they
be
might.
Monarch? We don't even know. Like,
Well, they might fudge it and use Major Force or something like that, or they might
Could.
use some other powerful character we've already seen.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole thing about Monarch. They have floated him with different characters under the cowl.
yeah.
Looking forward to that,
Yeah.
but there's something else that's coming out as well. I'm trying to remember. I always end up remembering afterwards when we're off air. It'll always come to me 5 minutes later. It's not Star Trek. It's not Marvel. It's not DC. And I'm trying to think of something coming back, and I can't remember what.
I don't know.
I don't know. But I got to watch that Tom Hanks movie on Apple.
Tom Hanks movie.
There's that one where he's raising a little robot. Like it's a... Yeah.
Well, I didn't know anything about this.
Yeah, I have enough time to look it up, I don't think. But yeah, it's there's trailers for him and a dog and a robot on like another planet or in the future on Earth or something like that. And he's teaching the robot because it's a full sentient AI, but it looks a little bit like a pop can with, pop can legs and arms and stuff like that kind of thing. It looks like it's a robot,
Okay.
but it is learning life lessons, and the dog is there and all this stuff, and it's very Tom Hanks. In the
That
future.
sounds interesting. I have not heard anything about this.
Oh, it's like
Tom Hanks is doing a lot of stuff over on Apple, though, isn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah.
I mean, you're Tom Hanks, who started out like Bosom Buddies.
Bosom Buddies was
yeah.
his first foray.
His
Yeah.
co-star passed away the other week.
Who's that?
The other guy from Bosom Buddies ended up on Bob
Yeah,
Newhart show.
I don't know what his name is.
I can't remember, but he ended up being afterwards Bob Newhart, the yuppie husband of the girl.
Oh,
the
yes,
blonde.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
he went over that afterwards, right?
Right, yeah. Oh, what was his name?
I can't remember for the life of me either. But like, He had a good career, too. But no, he passed away the other day. Cancer.
Yeah, so he was only like 60-something years old or something?
Yeah, cancer for like 3 years, apparently.
Jeez, that's awful.
Yeah.
That's awful.
I can't remember. It's like a name on it. Starts with O or something like that, that show. But, like, yeah, it's been out for a while. Apparently, it's all over on Apple Plus.
Okay, well, that's it for us
sir.
for tonight. We'll be back next week. I'm assuming that we'll have our full crew here next week.
Yeah, because usually it's one on, one off for her.
Yeah, okay, so we'll be back next week with our full crew.
Yep.
So we'll be back next week. Same Geek time, same Geek channel. Say goodnight, Geek.
Good night.